Oh, what is going on, y'all? Great to seeing everyone out there. We got Jess first in the chat. Awesome, awesome. Radio Wayne in attendance. Nice to see you, man. Hacking and Hammond. Nice to see you. Andy claiming he's not first, but you're always first in my group. And 45 Auto. Thank you for attending. Ken, what is up? And last but not least, I haven't shouted out Ham Radio for Non-Techies will be joining us here in a minute. He's messing with his mic backstage. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't done already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Wow, actually, I think that's the first time I really said this on this channel. But y'all are awesome. Chris Radio and Live, thanks for joining, man. Welcome to the party. We're going to go ahead and kick this off in one more minute. We're just waiting for all the YouTube notifications going out, and we got a great thing going on tonight. We got a cool topic. We put together slides. I hope it's going to be good. It's my first slideshow. I'm nervous. Oh my God. What's up, Duck Roast Amateur Radio? Oh, I like that name. Jason, what is up? How you doing? And James. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn this down a bit. You know what's about to happen. You know what's about to happen. What is going on, y'all? I'm Frank KG5AHJ, just watching that red line to see how loud I can get without crossing. That is so much fun. Thank you all for swinging by. We're going to have a fun time. We are going to be talking about POTA, and if you haven't POTA'd, I'm going to help you get into POTA and tell you what about POTA and everything you want to know about Parks on the Air, because it's not a contest. But we'll get more into that later. So let's go ahead and get started by playing that awesome intro video. Quick shout out to all my Patreons who makes the show possible. You can support me by joining Patreon in the link below. And on to Tank Radio. Howdy, y'all. What is going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. It is a awesome and stormy and thundering night over here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If I just go blank, you know what happened. The power ran out, and I'm going to hook up my batteries to my CPAP machine, which is another thing kind of coming up on the channel. I got a new machine, and that means I need to create a new cord. ResMed created a new proprietary cord that you can only use with their devices. It's not the standard round gauge plug that they used to have. So I got to go and buy another one and get that up and going. James, man, welcome. Coming by. I see you in attendance. What else is going on? Let's do this, the rundown. Buy me the beer. The link is still in the description. That's still active. Gigaparts. If you go to Gigaparts and type Tank at checkout for the checkout code, you get 5% off. 5% off on select items. For see what those items are, go scroll down in my description. You'll see Gigaparts. Click on there, and that'll tell you every item that's available, including a lot of Missing Polony stuff, some Explorer bag stuff, and Digi-Rig stuff, and the USB R-Finder hub, 100 watts, is on there also. That is so amazing. And unfortunately, the QSL cards with the video dropped today, but it was supposed to be for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sorry. But hey, now you get to see the QSL cards and everything on there. That was fun. I don't think the Tank at checkout works for the QSL cards, but I really like them in there. QSL cards. The price wasn't that bad. Turnaround time, about a week, but once it hit the mail, boom, right to my place. I liked it. Coins are still for sale over at Jason's Ham Radio shop.hamradio. It's just the website, Jason's Ham Radio website. Coins are still for sale, and my audio podcast. This will be released this week for my audio podcast, and we're going to be talking fun. Plus, if you go ahead and join my audio podcast, there's 2 podcasts a month that are not released on YouTube. So if you want to hear what we talk about then, and with all the Texas Ham Boys and what's going on in the back channel, go ahead and join my audio podcast. And with all that said, I think I'm getting better at talking and not running through everything. So we're at like the 4-minute mark. Usually I'm done at 1 minute. Let's go ahead and bring Scott in. Where is he? Yeah. He's frozen. He's stuck. What is going on, man? How are you doing? Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, it's not on. There it is. Now you're unmuted.
Now I'm unmuted? Okay.
Yep.
What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm hearing lightning still outside.
Send it down here.
I'm trying.
It rained once for 15 minutes like a week and a half ago and haven't seen it since.
James, if you want that elusive item that was given out by the Shaq and Greg brothers at Handcom, no, it was, I'm just going to call it by the name Huntsville. Yeah, go ahead and just add more money to that checkout. I'll send it to you. But we're not going to talk about it because I want this to be a nicer stream today because we're going to be talking about POTA. I want it to be more available for everyone. So we're just going to enjoy the evening, and we're going to leave the shenanigans probably to next stream or the stream after that. I'm trying to have Chuck and a couple others on. We're going to be talking about antennas. Then we're going to cut up. And you know what? If it's a nice night, I might be out back and enjoying the evening, hopefully.
There's always shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. I got some love coming in the chat. That is awesome. All right. We are going to be talking about POTA. POTA is a fun thing that we do. Man, I'm about to spill into everything here. So let's just jump to the slides. There. Nope. Oh, now it's doing the lockup thing.
Of course.
It
would be a live stream if you didn't have something jumping your way, right?
I clicked through all these and just to make sure they loaded correctly, like 5 minutes before, and now it's thinking about it. Ooh, that sounded cool.
Get a good one.
Yeah, it was. We're gonna have Steve coming on later in the evening, but he's being held up by traffic. So he said he'll probably be here about halfway through the show, and he's going to tell some other cool things about POTA. Yeah, it's storming here, man. It is right on top of me. POTA. Let's go at the top. Everything you need to know about POTA. Well, this is everything you need to know to get started on POTA and how it is and what's going on. My screen changed, but it's not changed. There it is. We're good. We're good. Okay. What is POTA? POTA stands for Parks on the Air. POTA is a radio sport. However, it's not a contest. And I really wanted Steve to elaborate on that one because it's a sport. It tracks your stats. I had a friend that said, tweeted me on Twitter. She said, even though POTA is a sport, we're still not jocks.
You seem to have many ham operators that can't run, man.
Yep. But hey,
if we can at short distances.
We're going to elaborate some more on this later on the stats, and we'll probably pull up the webpage here too in a bit. But it's a sport. You go out, you set up your radio in a park, and you make contacts, and those contacts are logged and uploaded, and we kind of contest or compare our stats to each other. That's the non-contest thing. It's just fun. It's fun, and we made it trackable, or they made it trackable for us. Next slide. Hey, this is working. What is POTA? Where did it begin? POTA began in I'm trying not to read them all because they're over on this side. But POTA began in 2016 as National Parks on the Air to help celebrate the National Park Service 100th anniversary. ARRL joined up with the National Park Service and created a small 1 year kind of non contest thing of National Parks on the Air. I don't know what happened to that data. It's probably somewhere. But we liked it. It was a fun thing to do. Wow, I'm only on my third slide and it's 10 minutes into this. I need to slow down. um, it was a fun thing to do, man. We really all enjoyed it, getting on the air, going to the parks, and a nonprofit group started POTA without the N, and to continue on the radio sports, and extended it to more parks and opened it up to other countries. That was pretty cool. I thought about reaching out to Jason Johnson, not Ham Radio 2 Jason Johnson, POTA Jason, but I didn't have his contact information. If you're around, Jason, hit me up in Discord. I will get you on here. POTA Jason Johnson, we'll see him in the next hour. How to get started in POTA? It's create an account. It's free. It's free to use. We can all get on and create this account. There were two options. Why is it doing that again? There's two options to create an account. You can do it off your raw email address, or if you have single sign-on enabled for Amazon, Facebook, or even Google. I did mine through Google. And that's pretty much all it is to create the account. What did I say? It is recommended to create the account on the computer over using a cell phone or tablet. I did see in a couple support forums saying that if you try to create it on your phone or tablet using the mobile version, there's a couple of hiccups that can happen, and it's just easier to do it on your computer before you go out there.
Yeah.
Um, and or just for an email after you do the first step by creating the account or with an email address or authenticating through your single sign-on, there is a verification email that's sent to your email, and you just click the link. It's that easy. I created a dummy account for myself by going through these steps. And it's literally that easy. If you want to know, I use lol@u.com and it took it. That's my dummy email. I'm trying to breathe, but y'all know me, man. 45 Auto says, "Breathe, Frank. Breathe." Maybe.
USA.
Yeah. I get excited. I just want to run and sprint.
Go.
Um. All right. Next slide here. After you finish the email verification, it's going to ask you for your call sign, your full legal name, and to agree to all their legalese, which is like two check boxes that all of us read, right? Because we never just blindly agree to anything online.
Sure, we never do that.
No, no. And then after that, there's another step that tells you to wait for approval. I reached out since I use also a dummy email address or a dummy call sign. For some reason, T5TNK it doesn't work. Um, they didn't verify me, but they said that usually the approval process is pretty automated. It pulls the FCC databases, checks names, and it's usually good to go almost automatically. If you do have any issues, there is a go to the support page and they'll help you out there. Or there's a Discord too, which I link in the later in the slides. Hey, Frank just had amazing POTA, 110 contacts, ham radio fun.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's what this is about. Go to a park and set up. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, you should watch my live stream because I have embedded my own amazing photos. So this is a good one. This is a good photo.
Oh,
Um,
is that your rig?
yes. That is there the 30 amp hour battery with my Yaesu FTDX10 and
Okay.
my camera behind that with the Explorer Gigaparts bag.
Very cool.
Um, I just, I think I just took that for Twitter one day. I was like, people like POTA pictures. Here
I
you
remember
go,
when you got
Twitter.
that battery thing because we were doing POTA down on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was eyeballing that. It's a good thing you put it in your car.
It has
Just
tank
saying.
radio on the top.
Oh, well, that almost spells ham radio for non-techies.
Hey, ham radio fun with K04D PDI. Thank you for becoming a member. I really do appreciate that. Um, but that's it. That's it. That's all you got to do to create your account. It's really that easy. It's 4 simple steps. And if you use a single sign on like Google or Google or I said Google Prime, Amazon Prime or Facebook, it's even easier. What's next? You got to go and find a POTA park. But what is a POTA park? POTA parks are national parks, natural grasslands, national forests, state parks, historical trails, and there's a lot of more. Trails are kind of tricky to activate, but um, the city and local parks are not a POTA park. POTA parks are for state parks and national parks, and even national monuments. There's a lot of parks out there that are recognized by the POTA site as parks. They just don't want local city parks, and because it's just hard to define those, and they're popping up everywhere, and it's just harder to do that. So that's the route they want, and they're international, man. It's awesome. I love that. Roger, thank you very much, man. I got some more tumblers going out this week. And that would be the final batch. But I'm loving that I'm seeing pictures on Twitter of all my tumblers that shipped out. How to get started? We're still POTA parks. How to find a POTA park? Let's go ahead and in the instructions in the slideshow, I walk you through it. But let's go ahead and do a live demonstration because I am kind of flying through this. But on the website, after you sign in, you got your call sign at the top right, and over here on the top left, next to the Parks on the Air logo, you can go ahead and click the menu or hamburger button. And now everything just resized because I moved it so I could talk to you better. Yep, no, yep, no, yep, no. Perfect.
So,
Um, and then scroll down to maps. This will bring up a map of the world. The first one, it should put you in 00, but since I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area, it remembers my location. It started me here. You can change your geographic location, the first drop down box from the United States to almost every country they have listed here. So that will help you get started. So we're going to select the United States. The second drop-down box is the sub-regions. Of course, in the states, the sub-regions are the state itself. Go ahead and click Texas, and that threw us pretty much in the smack dab middle of Texas, which is south of Waco. Wow. But on this map now, if we zoom in, we'll see a bunch of yellow dots. Each of these yellow dots is a POTA park. And if you want more information, here's my POTA park, Cedar Hill State Park. Go ahead and click on that yellow dot, and it'll bring up a little information blurb, and you click more. We'll get to what it's going to show you here later, but the one thing that you do want to have in hand before you go out to your POTA park is to write down your park number. Time you get there, sometimes these parks in the real rural areas don't have cell phone service. So you want to, that's going to mess us up later, hopefully not too much. You want to have your park number down so you have your logger set up or pre-set up your logger.
well, you know what? Something I do, I keep a cheat sheet in my backpack, my POTA pack,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the name of the park and the POTA designation for each park all written down for all the main parks that I go to in my general area. If I go to a different park, I'll add another name to the list and reprint it out. But that way I always know if I'm in Brazos Bend or in Huntsville or something like that, I know exactly which park number it is because I don't remember all that stuff. And it's kind of a good way to keep track of your parks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do what Ham Radio Adventure Guy does, where he goes over the whole freaking state and does POTA, might be a little bit more difficult to have a cheat sheet since
Yeah.
he's in a park every hour.
He might just have the logs pre-created, or he just that much of a ham. He just knows the park number.
That's
Today, he
true.
just walks in. I'm at park number kilo da 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 da. But that is the easy way of well, that is the way to find park information. Click on the map for more information, and I also did the link. The keynote I do want to point out here, they do not list the park boundaries, and the main thing for activating is you're required to be inside the park boundaries itself. So, if we're going to go to Cedar Hill State Park, and I've never been to Cedar Hill State Park, within the more information page, there is the official website they have listed for the park. Go ahead and click on that. We'll do that right now. And you go to Cedar Hill State Park, then you want to look for maps. In Texas, they keep it pretty easy, but your mileage may vary depending on what state you go to. And look for park map, and this will show you on Texas where the park boundaries are and where the park starts. So anywhere you activate here, pretty much past the main gate, you're inside the POTA park. If the gates close, that's up to you. Activate on the road. I don't recommend doing it, but anywhere within the park boundaries itself is an activation point. Um, I am skipping the technicalities with trails. Um, if y'all like this, I will do a part two, and we'll get more in depth into trails and other things. But this is supposed to be for beginners, so we're going to go to actual parks. So, bloop. And look at that, Cedar Hill State Park in the image. Um, we talked about the more information by clicking that more info button. Under the more info, you're going to see the national park or the official parks website, and that's where you go for the maps. It's going to list you the long location for that park. So if you want to put it inside your GPS unit, it's going to give you a grid square, and that's important because Mike's drilled it into my head that I can't use T what did I say? TNK 117 as a grid square anymore.
Yeah, you
Um,
can't make up your own grid squares, Frank.
no, but for FT8, it's going to list the grid square of the park. And the other important thing, this will be more important later, but it's going to tell you about early shift and late shift times. What times does early shift start and what times late shift start? And I'll explain more on that later, but you find that information on the parks page. Also, there's the leaderboard, which is pretty cool, but we'll talk about that more later. Spotting. Spotting's important because once you get to the park, how are we going to know what frequency are you on? How do you know if you're even on a frequency? And that's where the spotting page comes in. Spotting will allow you or someone else to physically spot you, and you give them what frequency, your call sign, and a note. Like sometimes, if it's my note, it's tank radio. Because I'm awesome. But your note can be, hey, starting out looking for contacts. If you're respotting, it's that little respot button. Majority of the people put in the receive strength of 5 9s always. And most importantly, if you're leaving a park and you're done, go ahead and update your, if you self spot, put a QRT in their message because that will signal also to others that you're no longer on that frequency. The spots are good at following you. So if you start on 20 meters, then 20-meter dies like this weekend, and then 40 meters opened up, go ahead and just add a new spot. And I've seen it very fairly good, and this is why I wanted Steve confirming this. Following it will take your old spot and update it so there's only one spot on the page. It's also the modes. You tell it which mode you're operating. CW, data, FT8, FT4, or CW or single side bend.
Don't forget also, there's a Parks on the Air Facebook group, and you can also, I think you can still spot yourself in there as well.
Also, going off those social media sites, their Discord, I think it has a spot page. It's also pretty active too. But I don't go to face page.
Face page.
Face page. So we said the word activate like 100 times by now, but what is an activation? An activation is once you go into a state park, you set up your station and you make 10 contacts. That's how easy it is. It's not difficult. You make 10 contacts and the park is considered activated. I just had to fix that. That was annoying me. Um and it's just that easy. It's not hard to get 10 contacts. How hard is it to get 10 contacts?
Well, depending on propagation, but yeah, most of the time you'll have no problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um and
Weren't you hinting around a minute ago about having some issue on 20 meters recently?
well, yeah. But even if you don't activate the park, please go upload your logs. That's important across the site. There is counted as failed activations or non-activations, but that's fine. That's fine because Hunters is the other guy on the other side of the radio, and they want credit too. So even if you don't get the 10 contacts, I had an activation where I spent 2 hours calling CQ, and I got an FT8, and I still couldn't make the 10 contacts. Hey, it happens to the best of us, but guess what I did? I took the 8 contacts and I still uploaded the log. So they're still up there because I want y'all to get credit too. What is the traffic, the normal traffic exchange? There's not a set format, but the unofficial format is starting out by CQ POTA, CQ POTA, CQ POTA. To just get everyone's attention, your call sign, and wait for someone to come back to you. Once you pick up a station, from there it's usually just exchanging signal reports. I hear you 5-9, Scott.
I hear you 592.
Thank you very much, 7-3, and have a good day.
73 QRZ.
That's it, right there. That was an exchange. That's how easy it is. Just calling CQ POTA, waiting for the station to come back, acknowledge the station, exchange signal reports, 7-3, and go on to the next one because I almost will guarantee you'll get a pileup doing POTA.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Happens more often than not.
And pileups are fun.
Can I give a pro tip?
Yes.
When you're doing the whole CQ POTA thing, you want to drag it out a little bit because if people are hunting you, they're searching out, they're running their VFO knob up and down the frequencies looking for that little pattern in their waterfall. And if you just go CQ POTA, and you let go, you disappear. So you make it a little bit longer. And what I do like CQ POTA. This is Kilo India 5, November Papa Lima calling CQ Parks in the Air from Park Kilo 2992, CQ POTA, any station, anywhere standing by. So I got this long, dragged out sentence that keeps my transmission going, and people, come in and hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Pro tip.
I've done that too. Unofficially, we talked about this one several times in our back channel Discord. I have said last call several times, ready to wrap up. I've been calling into the ether for 20 minutes saying, CQ POTA, this is KG5AHJ calling CQ. This Kilo Golf 5, Alpha Hotel Juliet, CQ POTA. 20 minutes. Nothing. All right, y'all. Last call, CQ POTA. Bam, bam, bam. And I was there for another 40 minutes working. And finally, I had to cut it off saying, hey, y'all, I love this. You should have came sooner because I got to get on the road. But It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I love working pileups. And man, I'm wearing a jacket in Texas. Who'd thunk of that? Uh,
Pileups are fun though, man. The first
mm-hmm,
time it happened, I scared the crap out of me. But after about 5 or 6 minutes, when you finally just figure it out, it
mm-hmm.
just hits you how you're gonna operate it. It's actually not that bad.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I look forward to them now.
Ham Radio Fun saying last call is a great trick. Well, I think a lot of people are out there sitting and waiting for the channel to be free or just something to get in there, and usually last call is the spur, but that's fine. Um, how to activate a park? Da 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 da. Okay, park to park. A park to park exchange is pretty much the same as a normal exchange, but the other station will probably say their call sign KG5AHJ park to park. Or if it's hard to get in there, I'm sorry, I would just spam park to park like 40 times until y'all acknowledge me. Park to park, park to park, park to park, park to park. Um, a park to park is someone else is setting up their station in a park and trying to reach you for the contact instead of you just calling out CQ. And that's called a park to park. The only difference is after you give them these signal reports, you give them your park number. Kilo 2996, and the other guy will answer, "Oh, awesome! I hear you 59 at Kilo 001." I think that was right, 0001. There we go. Um, and you write down that information into your logger. 7 threes, everyone, and QRZ. And that's it. That's that simple. Now, technically, I wanted Steve to him and Hob on this. And I'm going to bring it up when he finally joins. He should be getting home here soon. Um, you don't need to exchange the call signs anymore, or your park numbers anymore. The database will go through and match it up. And
Hmm.
if that's true, great. But I think a lot of operators out there are used to doing it. I'm used to doing it. A lot of guys, hunters, do like to also get the call sign or the park numbers also. So you'll
That's
get
putting a lot of
asked.
that's putting a lot of faith in technology to hope that does that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have a big log, you've been out there for 6, 7 hours, you got 200, 300 contacts, you go home and upload it, it doesn't work. I'd be a little irritated.
Mm-hmm. Oh, November 1 Juliet Uniform Romeo, the shirt I'm wearing right now. It has an awesome, oh, I guess the video did drop, so y'all saw it. But I'm going to turn around. Something I don't do on camera. You see what he made me? You got to tell me if it's on camera or not, Scott.
Come down a little bit.
Squatting.
There you go. Never say never.
But look behind it.
The heck is that?
It's the bourbon bottle.
Oh,
And it has my logo in it.
that's way cool.
I was just like, geez, it's this bourbon bottle which I picked up from the floor. He put my logo in it. I love it. I love it. It was opened up on Mailbag Monday, which was supposed to be tomorrow, but dropped today by accident.
Yeah, well, details, details.
The biggest question that every YouTuber gets: what logging software do you use? Or it's just me, Jason, and Mike when we hound each other when we're at parks and stuff. But what logging software do you use? The big ones out there: Hammers, N3 FJP, and Hamlog, which is your own writing down. All have a POTA format or template. The Hammers has a beautiful POTA template. After you create a log, there's a template drop down box. You check it, say POTA, and the template's there. I know N3FJP has a special mode for POTA, and a couple other big logging softwares out there that do have a POTA template. Or screw it, you don't even need a protein template. Just write it on a piece of paper. I've activated several parks like that, and the POTA website supports that now. Um, do you use anything special, Scott?
There is no other logging software except for Hammers. That's spelled HAMRS. Hammers.
Mm-hmm. You might have to put ham radio when searching for it, but that's all
Oh,
you use, and that's all I.
Well, one thing about hammers, if you're using a Windows machine, like say you download the Hammers app for your laptop on Mac and Windows, it's free. If you download it to an Android or other type of tablet or phone, it's $4.99 one-time fee.
Mm-hmm.
But you can put it on multiple
Devices.
things at points. I've got it on my phone, I got it on my two tablets, I got it on my laptops, I've got it on my main computer, so I've got it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the only major thing. So $4.99 if you use mobile, and free if you use operating system.
And it's supported on Mac,
Yes.
which is an operating system I don't choose to acknowledge. But
Nope.
if you have one of those, it's
Yeah, if you
supported
join the
on Mac.
dark side like Mike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The note on here is very, very, very important. If you want to upload your logs that are not handwritten, your logging software needs to support export to ADF, because that is what the POTA website, we'll talk about more later, accepts. So if it doesn't, then you gotta go to Hammers. That's all I'm gonna say.
And it really, it really makes it very simple because once you export that file, you can upload it. The way I do it, I upload to the Parks on the Air,
Mm-hmm.
and I go to QRZ and I upload it there, which automatically uploads it to Logbook of the World.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a lot easier to get it all, in 3 different places.
I
Hey,
agree.
Steve.
Steve,
On, guys?
you're quiet.
Hey, your volume's really low.
Hello?
Quiet.
Hello out there.
Echo, echo, echo.
It's bumped all the way up. So let's see.
No, you're
Mic
quiet.
test 1, 2.
Oh, you're getting louder.
All right. Check 1.
Keep
1,
going.
2.
Keep bringing it up.
Yep. There we go.
There we go.
Jeez, I put the mic gain almost all the way up on my.
Now we're
system.
cooking with Crisco.
Man, you're a professional streamer. You do it every week.
I know, but it's usually I have to keep it way down for Clubhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow. Something about Zoom.
The one point we talked about earlier, and I was I said we need your answer for this. When we're talking about logging park to park contacts, logging with when you're logging, do you need to have their park number?
Yes and no.
Oh, I like
Okay.
complicated answers.
Right. So if it's a single park entity, no, you don't need the park number. If it's one of these multi-park deals, then yes, you need each park number.
What about park to park?
Yeah, for the park to park. So if I'm in a 2-fer or a 3-fer, where I'm in, say, 3 different parks at the same time, if I don't give you all 3 park numbers, but I log you 3 times, it'll show up as a duplicate. If I have the park number, that's where it negates the duplicate, so we can go through and actually get all 3 logged.
Okay, I like that answer.
So it makes it a little complicated, but
well, depending on your logging software, I was kind of sidestepping the
Stone Tablet. That's the only way to go.
yeah. I was sidestepping multiple park activations under the same contact, because this is supposed to be for beginners.
Right.
That's an advanced field of activating multiple parks at once.
Yes. But they could have somebody that's in a multi-park contact them. So they would need to have each park number to log it.
So question here for Grayman POTA. What about multi-activators in a park? So each activator will have
Huntsville?
their own log.
Correct.
They will require to do their own logs. So if you're doing hammers and you're providing everything and you're just letting a new guy to experience HF and he hasn't been on his HF privileges before, create a new log for him and have him log it, and then you can be the nice guy and say, "I'll upload this for you."
Well, but you can't upload it for him. He has to upload his own.
You're right. So you
unless you
extend it
have
to him, and then he
yeah,
has to upload it.
unless you have admin privileges on POTA, and
Well,
that's a whole nother ball of wax. However, I did do a video. I'm going to drop the link to it
please do.
where you can duplicate your POTA logs, and with that, you can also change the activator call sign. So I could, if we're sitting there, bunch of us in a park, and one person can log, I can then take and duplicate that log, changing the call sign, and send it out to everybody else so they can upload it.
Oh, very cool.
So if there's 5 of us and one laptop, only one person has to log. We just pass the mic and everybody gets the contacts.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
think it makes the QSO a lot more efficient doing it that way.
oh,
Yeah, buddy.
don't pass the mic. Don't pass the mic. I
Always
absolutely
pass the mic.
don't pass the mic unless it's like a someone that everyone wants in the logs. Don't pass the mic. You got a pile up running. Transfer the pile up and let him activate it. It's 10 times faster and better for the hunter.
Unless it's a rare park.
Unless it's a rare park. There's
Old
caveats.
Island, which is a only activated by boat
Uh-huh.
type park. That is a pass the mic park.
But it's a rare island, then they're gonna have a pile up. We'll come back to that. We'll pin that conversation. Let's get back to the presentation here, because that's what we're here for. A chat member says pass the KAMRD.
Always.
Yeah, I think you were with us in Huntsville when we were letting Evan learn how to do POTA for the first time. And we had like 11 operators just pass the mic around. Everybody's writing down the park number and stuff.
That's painful. That many operators.
Yes. All right. The next thing is how we're going to upload your POTA log. So you found a park, you went to it, you set up your radios, you logged your 10 contacts, you have hammers that allows you to export to ADA. How you're going to do that? I did not go into the nuances on exporting. You got to figure that out for your own logging software, but it's pretty easy in hammers. But
It's in my video.
once you have the ADA file, we're going to go back to the live demo here. No, I don't want it to go forward yet. There. You're going to go to the hamburger menu at the top left. Scroll all the way down to upload my logs. And there's going to be a area, just drag and drop that file. Drag and drop it to it. Now, if you're on a Android, does this or any mobile device, is there a upload button that you can hit and it will give you a box to upload your file there? I see you squirming.
Again, yes and no.
Oh.
So I have people that send me logs still to this day, even with the self-uploader, because they log on an iPad, an iPhone, or a mobile device. I know how to make my device think it's a desktop and upload the logs that way.
That's interesting. Okay.
iPhones are not capable of it natively.
Okay.
I don't run an iPhone, so I can't speak 100%. But
so download your logs onto the computer and upload through the computer. I use the self-uploader a lot. You're looking at my screen right now, look how many times I've used it. And it detects duplicate logs because I'm not that observant when uploading. I just drag and drop sometimes the whole folder because I don't know which one is it. But the website will figure it out.
One thing you didn't touch on though, Frank, and it might be, I'm ashamed to say I have not uploaded a POTA log in quite a while. But naming the file, your ADIF file, naming it, there's a specific way to name it. So when it gets uploaded to the Parks and the Air people, they're able to easily reference it.
Doesn't matter anymore. That mattered to when you're emailing.
Yeah, that mattered to the area, the regional coordinators.
Okay.
More so than the actual system. It's a good practice, so you know which logs you've uploaded, Frank, and what day it's from.
Other than that part doesn't matter. I do started naming them better, month, day, and then the park.
Yeah,
And then
Scott, we got to get you back out to a park.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. I usually do park number, date, my call sign, and I believe that's the format I used before. Something along those lines. I have to
Yep.
go back like 50 logs I can look at.
Call sign at park number
Right.
- date code.
Right. There you go.
And that's it for uploading. The website would take care of anything else. We mentioned a couple times here Hunter. So we talked in depth on what activator is. You are at the park. The other guy on the radio doesn't have to be at the park. He could be at home. He can be smoking a cigar in his backyard, and playing radio that I was doing all week. And we call them hunters. We can't do parks on the air without hunting. You don't have to go to a park to participate in parks on the air. You could turn your radio on at home, go to the spotter page that we were talking about earlier, and look for people who spot themselves and or just other spots out there, and then tune right to their frequency. And if you can hear them, key up, make that contact because they want to hear from you. Hunters, also a good note here. Hunters aren't required to upload their logs. Aren't required. I did see a new option earlier that says hunter logs. What is that about? Upload hunter logs.
Upload hunter logs?
Yes, we're
Pull that up for me, because
hamburger. My hunter logs. Oh,
right. That's different.
That's I find that over here. Why is it over there? I think that's upload.
It's in both locations.
Don't like it. Get rid of it. All right, never mind. That's what a hunter is. So hunters aren't required to upload their logs because their logs are done by the POTA activator. Well, now what? Now what I pretty much covered everything here, and my screen's white, but it's not. I don't know. My computer's freaking out again. After we uploaded everything, what's the fun in POTA? We went to a park, we activated. Why are we uploading the logs? The reason is POTA tracks everything. They hand out awards for activating. But again, POTA's not a contest.
Not a contest.
Not a contest. There are
Sure, it's
activator logs. Ooh, Scott?
I said, sure, it's not.
There are activator logs. They keep track of how many contacts you've done at a park. There is one called a Kilo Award, which I got recently. That's 1,000 contacts at the same park. Man, you got to work to get that. Or your mic and you're at the park every other day. A repeat offender. You activate the same park 20 different times. Traveler. You activate 3 to 4 or 5. These are unique rewards there. I just bundled all into travels. In a single day, in a 24-hour period, or a UTC day, activating that many parks. Steve, you him and hawed. This is why I have you on here to correct me.
I'm trying to remember on the Traveler Awards or Rover Awards, whatever they're calling them now. Is it the UTC day or is it a rolling 24-hour? Because it used to be rolling 24-hour period.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's in the UTC day, which makes it that much harder to do.
Mm-hmm. Because that UTC rolls over in the late activator.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I have had a number of activations failed because my silly behind went out late in the afternoon and caught the UTC day rollover.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the 10 contacts at the park while I was there, but it's on 2 different days.
So
a challenge that I have for myself is I'd like to go to a park sometime. Propagation would have to be in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a Kilo Award in one day at one park. 1,000 contacts in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And that, sir, is why it's not a contest, because that is a personal challenge to
Oh yeah,
yourself.
absolutely.
You're not challenging anybody else to that.
Right.
I mean, you could for non-POTA reasons, or libations, if you will.
Mhm. So I'm showing here,
But a
my
1,000 in a day, that's hustling.
That's
that
insane.
I know it can be done in a weekend.
Yeah.
I have seen it done multiple times in a weekend.
Most I've gotten so far is like 360 in a day.
wow, that's a lot still.
I say, did you sit there all day, or
Yeah, I was there from like 8 o'clock until probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
okay,
So
okay.
I'm showing the POTA Awards page. If you click your call sign at the top, you'll bring up your personal menu, and then there'll be My Awards, and then this is going to show you where all your awards are tracked. Um, and the next slide is talking about Hunter Awards. There are awards for hunting also, late shift, early shift hunters. Um, I think I'll talk about it later, but we'll cover it now. A late shift activation or hunting is past the UTC day on that park where that park is located. That is back into the more info page on that park. Also, the early shift. That is, I think, right in the early morning, and that counts as an early activation. Still all the same UTC day, um, but it's just an extra word to help you or award you for being out there at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. How long are those hours, by the way?
Um, hmm. Well, I just pulled a random park over in
Mm-hmm.
California because if I pull one of my parks, it's UTC is 0 basically
Mm-hmm.
for late shift.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Late shift for William Randolph Hearst Memorial State Beach in California, which is Kilo 6448,
Mm-hmm.
is 02 UTC to 10 UTC. I don't do math on stream.
Yeah. And this is something I hounded y'all before. Create it local time. You can that's easy to do with plugins online.
Yeah.
There's also repeat offender for hunters. Hunt the park 20 times. That's hard. That's hard.
Not really.
It's hard.
I'm sure plenty of people have Monsanto on a multiple hunter
Ah,
or repeat hunter
this is freaking out on my
in one
screen.
day because, well, there were how many of us in the park a month ago?
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Obviously, that's the exception to the rule. But
um, yeah, this is what we just covered: late shift and early shift. What is a late shift? What is an early shift? I'm showing a screenshot of the page here. This is under the more info for the park, and we'll see early shift award times, and it tell us the UTC times and also the late shift awards. We see the UTC times. Um, POTA has events. They have Support Your Park Weekend. The Support Your Park Weekend is one weekend in the every quarter of the year, and it is the third weekend on the day that they chose. I got them up here: winters January, springs April, summers July, and autumns October. The third Saturday or third weekend of that month is Support Your Park Weekend. You go out there, have fun, and there are special awards for that time period. Um, Steve, you told me to take the other one down.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm sad.
So there used to be a plaque event that
That
caused some turmoil with the system.
Mm-hmm. And we are at the end of my slideshow with a big group of guys hanging out, having fun. That's all you need to know about just getting on the air and activating a park. It's that easy. It's just create the account, spot your park you're going to go to, write down that park number, take your rig out there. It sounds like it's a lot, but once you get started and do a couple of these are fun. It gets you out of your house, get outside the comfort zone, and enjoy nature. Um, at the end of the slides, I just have a couple of helpful hints and references. And that is my slideshow. Yay! I did a slideshow. I did a thing. There was one question I did kind of bypass here in the chat from Mike. Um, Kilo Beta 5 Quebec Foxtrot uniform. What I want to do FT8 while doing POTA. I have a new Digi rig with the G90. Watch all your YouTube channels to set it up. I still can't get it going. Asking for help to set it up, but I have a video on how to set up the FT8 on a G90, and I will be creating a new helpful thing later in a couple of months. Hopefully, that will be up. I'm ready to help you out. I did sidestep modes. If you want to do a mode, I think that's more in depth for what the time we have. But FT8 is a option of activating and running on for support your parks or just POTA in general. Thank you. I was a little nervous running through that.
Yeah, but you pulled it off flawlessly, man. You did good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I may have had it on in the car while I was driving.
How many times you did a face palm? Don't say that. Do you want to pull me back and correct me on anything?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, you pretty much had it on point. We talked ahead of time, so
cool. Yeah, I threw this together in about a week. And I think this was fun. Please hit me up in Discord or in the comments of the video of other topics you want me to kind of do a beginner's guide on, and just to figure out, help you more to get interested in amateur radio. But this was fun. I like this.
We definitely need to do an advanced version of this one.
Yes, so I need topics for the advanced version.
Multi-park, multi-activator, multi-mode.
But help.
Come on, let's bury it.
All right, multi-park. Because yes, I did skip how to do a multi-park activation. That's where you activate more than one park at the same time. Multi-mode. Oh, that sounds like fun. What else?
Multi-radio.
Multi-radio?
Yep.
You got some ADD going on there.
How about POTA Soda Iota?
POTA Soda.
What's on the air?
Oh, yeah. So we POTA Iota Soda POTA.
Is there an island that counts as Island Summit?
Not that I know of. But my fat behind doesn't climb mountains, so
yeah,
I'm good with that.
I let Charlie cover Soda. That is a different website, different beast, different group. But same thing. But the number one major difference is, other than the site itself, for Soda, you only need four contacts to count as activating.
And you have to be more than 100 feet from your vehicle.
100 feet from your vehicle. POTA, you can operate from your vehicle. It's some places better to do that.
Yep. I do have a challenge I want to throw out to those of us that do POTA. We need to set a weekend and just do a technician POTA.
A technician POTA, so 10 meters.
Cool.
Stay in the technician spaces.
So 10 meters, 6 meters.
6, 10, 2, 70. I mean,
what was the topic I asked to pin? I didn't write it down.
When did you ask?
I don't know. We got 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead here and do the round the horn thing. Steve, I'm glad you made it home safe in one piece. And go ahead and tell us, where can we find more about you? What's coming up on your channel, or anything else you want to plug? And go.
I have a lot coming up on my channel. Just got to sit down, record videos. I did take a lightning strike a couple weeks ago, which wiped out a few things, including the video output on my radio.
No.
So, yeah, I'm afraid I might have to send in the 7610. That's not going to be pretty. Not going to be cheap either. But thank God for insurance. Radio still works for radio. I just can't live stream with it. Fun. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern, Ham Radio Clubhouse, or as we're calling it now, just Clubhouse, because it's Ham Radio adjacent. You'll always find me there.
Thank you, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Sorry I was late.
It's all right, man. I think we compiled the questions that we had for you, and you answered all of them. Scott, man, tell us where we can find you, more about your channel, or anything else you want to plug.
Sure. Well, first off, let me say thank you for having me on the show. Excellent presentation. I think you handled it perfect. Great topic. It's always fun talking POTA. No matter how seasoned you are or new you are, POTA is always fun. I am KI5MPL, Ham Radio for Non-Techies. You can find me on my channel on YouTube. You can find me on the website, hamradiofornontechies.com. I'm also on Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. My Facebook group is actually growing quite a bit. Got an extra 100 members in the past couple of weeks, which is really weird. Got some cool new videos coming out. One's gonna be a little controversial, but I'm gonna back it up with all the data. And of course, as always, I will ask you to do your own due diligence and do your own research, but I think it'll be a very good topic. And just be looking out for that over the next week or two.
All right. Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate you both for coming on and participating and having fun with me this evening. And
Frank, I got one quick one that I did remember from the car. Just a pro tip: when you're sitting there calling into the ether, use your voice recorder on your radios.
Yes.
Hit the button, keep drinking your water or whatever, and let it call for you.
If your radio has that feature.
Mm-hmm. Or
Find me one
if
that
you have the SD card inserted so you can use that feature.
Right.
Thank y'all for coming on.
Yes.
Of course, I'm Tank Radio. Thank you for swinging by and hanging out with me this evening. This has been great. Let me know in the comments below that if you have any other topics that you want to see covered as kind of a beginner's guide, or suggestions for a POTA 2 a slideshow and presentation. This was fun. I really did enjoy it. Coming up, work was coming up. It was going to be mailbag, but that dropped today. So I hope you enjoyed the mailbag. Go ahead and watch that video also. It was a fun one.
Frank's first day on YouTube.
Yeah, Frank's first day on YouTube. Can't schedule stuff. I did QSL cards. I opened up stuff on camera. It was great. Coming up after that, I got probably some build stuff, and I'm hoping to get some of the Coffee and Ham Radio guys on to talk about antennas. That is all I had. I just want to say thank you to all my Patreon and channel members. Without your support, I can't do this without y'all. And if you want 5% off over at Gigaparts, enter Tank at checkout on select items. And to everyone watching right now, go forth and conquer.
Smash that like button.
Bye!
73 guys.
A quick shout out to all my Patreons who makes the show possible. You can support me by joining Patreon in the link below. And on to Tank Radio.